I did a lot of stuff this patch, so I'm gonna have to change the environment a lot to show it all off. First, I made my player character run a bit faster. I should have done this ages ago, honestly. It feels good, and it makes the animation look a bit cleaner. When hanging from walls, I added some input leniency so your inputs don't have to be perfectly together. If you hit up slightly before holding away from the wall, you'll still jump off the wall. One of my Discord members offered to make a rolling sprite for me, which I don't have since there's no rolling mechanic in Prince of Persia. I plan to eventually have a tumble in my game, but with his help, that eventually became now. A roll can be done from a full sprint, and it can also be done from a full crouch. This is all fully new, and not based on anything in Prince, but instead based on what I think would be fun and fitting. I also made it so you can return from the tumble to a sprint. I did my best to make the animation look seamless and for the movement to feel good. My philosophy is that doing a roll across a distance should be slower than running that distance, but not way slower. This is also the fastest way to a sprint from a full crouch. Rolling will be used to get under closing doors and other obstacles that my character would otherwise run into. Of course, I also had to program if I tried to stand up under an obstacle. Right now, I just set my speed to 0 while rising if there's something in my way, so I never reach my standing state. Of course, I also programmed that I can return to crouch, wherein I can then tumble out of the way. As of right now, there's no way to change directions while crouching and no way to roll backwards, which doesn't make a lot of sense, so I might come back to this. I can now also crouch while slowing down. This won't give the roll, but instead a sliding crouch. I programmed the crouch to slide and slow down using the existing momentum, rather than being stationary like before. This makes it look much better after my roll. Rolling into a wall will cause me to bounce off of it. However, I made it so that sliding into a wall will just go forward until I make contact. Most of my input checks will check to see whether the player is holding the key. However, with my crouch roll, this is what happened if I hold both down and forward. It looks very ridiculous, especially compared to the very simple input to do it. So instead, I made it so the game uses the input check for if you just pressed right in order to get the roll. Now, if you hold down and forward, this happens. Of course, you can still do repeated rolls if you hold down and tap forward. But here, the ridiculous visuals are accompanied by a ridiculous input from the player, so I see no problem. I think if you're inputting something like that, what did you think would happen? I made it so if you roll off a ledge, you'll transition smoothly into a hang from that ledge. This allows you to quickly change directions and drop, and works from both sprinting and crouching rolls. I think this feels very good. Remember, one of my main goals is to make something that feels like Prince of Persia, but is more fluid and continuous. This also works with my sliding crouch. I didn't think to do this until just now, and it took literally 5 seconds of copy and pasting. If you're facing a ledge, I made a new animation so that hitting down will cause my character to turn and hang automatically, which I think feels more natural than having to turn and drop. Of course, you can still turn and drop manually if you want. My last big change this patch is you can do the roll from a landing. This will let the player start running faster and lose less momentum. Compare. The input is currently a 6-frame window. I want it to be just a little precise without being too hard. You can only roll in the direction you're currently facing. I asked on Twitter how this landing roll should be executed, whether you should get it by pressing down while landing or forward while landing. To my surprise, the responses were split between the two, with the additional suggestion that tech rolling should definitely be a button press and not a direction. I made a straw poll in the comments so you can offer which one you think is the most intuitive. With my current coding, either down or forward will work. If you tech roll the landing from a long drop, you'll still take damage. I thought about using this to mitigate fall damage, but I think I like it more as a way to maintain momentum. There's a long pause after you take fall damage that you won't get if you tech roll. I might eventually change my mind on this front though. In Prince of Persia, there's a bit of leniency with the running jumps. You can see right here that I'm behind the second torch. When I do my earliest possible running jump, my foot lines up perfectly with the ledge and I make a maximum distance jump. When I'm between the two torches, and I do my running jump on the earliest possible frame, my foot still finds the ledge and I still make a max distance jump. I'd like to replicate this for my game. I made it so that during certain frames of my jump, I stop at the ledge. Then once I leave the ledge, I instantly have full jump speed. For gameplay it works well, but the stop looks super awkward and I don't really know how to refine it. I think I'll make it into a slow instead, and drop my speed by different amounts based on how close I am to the ledge, but I don't know yet. That's about as far as I got before I figured I should make a video showing off my new developments.